What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and in this video I'll be showing you guys an amazing weapon to use right now, and this is the Suros Dis 43. This is a legendary scout rifle, and you might think, haven't you already done a video on this? But that was actually on the Dis 47, a very similar weapon but it's different stats, and these two weapons are not to be confused. In this video we're going to be talking about the 43, which is honestly an amazing weapon in the Crucible, and of course is equally good in PvE, but the perks I've got on mine are specially for Crucible and PvP. So I'm going to show you guys the perks on mine and go over why it's good, but first I want to go over how you get this thing. So you can obtain one on Arms Day, so the Gunsmith weapon orders, and partly why I wanted to make this video today is if you're watching this on the Saturday that goes up, you can go over to the Gunsmith right now and grab an order for the Dis 43. Make sure you go over and grab one while you can today, and if you're watching this after Saturday when it goes up, for future reference, always make sure you grab the 43 package. It's a very, very good weapon. If you get the chance, make sure you pick one up. And the Gunsmith seems to be offering the 43 and the 47 quite a lot recently, so hopefully on Wednesday when he offers new orders, he might do them again, but definitely make sure you know if the 43 or the 47 are on offer, definitely pick them up. So what is this weapon and why am I recommending it to you? Essentially, it's a very high impact and low rate of fire weapon, so pretty much the opposite of the Dis 47, which I talked about in a previous video. So this is like the polar opposite of the 47 in that this fires very, very slowly, and because of that, it's a very long range weapon. Some of the gameplay you'll see is actually on First Light, a gameplay that I got today, and this is of course demonstrates perfectly how long range this weapon can be. I'd say it's probably one of the best long range primer weapons you can get in the game, other than like No Land Beyond. This is literally just a beast at getting long range kills, and the range is incredible on this thing as well, but it's just a very, very high damage weapon. At normal ranges, it's going to do 61 damage to the head, so of course that's a 4-shot kill, and at further ranges you can see the damage doesn't really drop off all that much. Obviously First Light is one of the biggest maps in Destiny with some of the most long range gunfights. You can see some of these people that are really far away in some of these clips, even when the damage drops off a lot, it's only dropping off to around 57 at the lowest and around about 59 or 60 sometimes, depending on how far they are. But the range is definitely very, very impressive with this thing, and it's pretty much always going to be a 4-shot kill to the head, which is incredible. Obviously it fires a lot slower, you can't just spam the trigger like the 47, but if you just take your time with the shots and make sure that you place each one on the head, you're going to drop the guy in absolutely no time. So it is a very, very deadly weapon that requires you to be quite accurate. It does take quite a while to get used to. Obviously I use the Dis 43 almost all the time, that's not my go-to Crucible weapon, and that fires very, very fast. I'm used to spamming the trigger, but with this thing, for the first like 2 games I used it, I was very bad with it, and after a while I kind of realized how slow you have to fire it and how you don't just like aim for the body or just wherever you can get the kill, you aim for the head, and if you do that you will absolutely melt the guy. It's completely ridiculous how quickly you can kill some people if you land all of your 4 shots. But this thing is just an amazing, amazing weapon, very high damage, and even on First Light is a good example of how long range it can be. It's the same as the Hung Jury. If you use that weapon, I'm sure a ton of you guys have. One of the best scout rifles in the game, and of course made a video on that as well. But it's got the identical fire rate and impact of that weapon. So if you use the Hung Jury, you'll be very used to this weapon. It's the exact same. Obviously some other stats are a little bit different, but mainly it's the same as the Hung Jury from Dead Orbit. But of course that is the PvE version. This is essentially the PvP version, and if we take a look at the perks on mine, we can see some very interesting stuff on why it is so good. So you can see the 3 scopes that are available on my version, and I use the SO19, that's one I prefer. It's most clean and most simple. I've got fit stock on mine, but you can see why it's so accurate, and the stability is very, very high. Fit stock does a really, really good increase on your stability, so definitely a very good perk right there. Next up we have Hidden Hand, which is probably the main draw of this weapon and what makes it amazing in this version, because the weapon naturally has a very good aim assistance, and this Hidden Hand is going to boost that and increase the target acquisition. That basically means, in a nutshell, when people like duck behind cover or when they move really quickly, it allows you to track the target a lot easier and helps your cursor stick over their head easier. It helps the cursor naturally go to the headshots as opposed to body shots. It just generally helps you with aiming. It's a lot more complicated than that, but if you want a simplified version, it basically lets you get those kills where you feel like you didn't really deserve it and they duck behind cover and you got the kill anyway. And you notice the Mida does that a lot. That's because the Mida has very, very high aim assistance. So Hidden Hand is a very good perk on this, and that's why I chose the one with Hidden Hand. And then finally we have Injection Mode, which increases stability a little bit more, and also the handling. Probably the only downside to this weapon is the reload speed, which isn't too great. It's one of the trade-offs. You can't have everything in a weapon, but the reload speed is a little bit slow. It does have a very high magazine with 19, which is actually really high, especially for a slow firing one. If you've got something like the Dis 47, which fires a lot of bullets, then a high magazine is definitely essential, and 19 is probably around normal. But a weapon like this, the 43, which fires a lot slower, you're not actually outputting that many bullets, the magazine size of 19 is actually above average. So you're going to be able to hold a lot of shots, and and the reload speed isn't really that much of a big deal. This is by far one of my favorite weapons to use right now. I tend to toggle between this and the 47, depending on what the map is. If it's close range, I go for the 47. If it's long range, I go for the 43. Wanted to let you guys know about it and definitely pick this up while you can. And for future reference, always make sure you pick up either 47 or the 43. They are amazing, amazing weapons. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this weapon. I'm sure a ton of you guys already have it and already love it. I want to know your thoughts of the 43 and the 47 as well. Drop a like rating on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.